Some people see 4 dots and 2 more dots, and they know that 4 and 2 are 6. This is what we mean by thinking strategies for fluency. So before we really dive in today, I need you to find something to write with and something to write on. And if there's anybody sitting around your house who's bored, then grab them, because they can be your thinking partner. But don't interrupt. Lots of people are working at home, so if everyone's busy, I'll be your thinking partner. You can share your thoughts with me. Do you have something to write with and something to write on? Here we go. Ready? You'll have 3 seconds. Your job is to decide how many dots you see and then to think about how you knew. What was your strategy for knowing how many dots were on the card? Ready? Okay, write it down on your paper and then tell your thinking partner how you knew. How did you see it? I know someone who sees 4 dots and 3 more dots, and they know 4 and 3 are 7. But I know someone else who sees it different. They think this dot arrangement looks almost like this dot arrangement. And when they see it, they see double 4s, but one is missing. 1 dot in this arrangement is not there. They expected it, but it wasn't there. They know that double 4 is 8, and they know that 8 minus 1 is 7. Let's try another pattern. Ready? I changed it up a little this time. Get your pencil. Here's your 3-second look. Did you know? Did you use a strategy to figure it out? How did you see the number of dots? Did you use the strategy my friend used on the last dot card? This pattern almost looks like a 5. I could sort of, in my mind's eye, move this orange dot over there, and it would look just like the other 5. If I can do that with my mind, and I know that 5 and 5 are 10, then I know there are 10 dots. But that's not the only way to see it. As a matter of fact, my best friend, he sees it this way. He sees 5 and 1 is 6. And my best friend knows that this is 4. 6 and 4 are also 10. 5 and 5 make 10. 6 and 4 make 10. You can see these dot patterns any way you want. You can see the dots however your mind wants to make sense of them. There are often useful numbers to help us know how many and figure out things we don't know, like doubles. Let's try one more. I've really upped the ante this time. Are you ready for your 3-second look? That was a lot of dots. If you were counting, you might not know how many. Hopefully you were using fluency thinking strategies. Want to look closer? Are you ready to check yourself? Okay, here's a second 3 seconds. Check your thinking and see if you figured out how many dots. Did you get it? Tell your thinking partner how you figured out how many dots there were. How did you see it? I know someone that uses the double strategy a lot. And when they used the double strategy on this dot arrangement, they saw 8 and almost 8, 8 and 8 minus 1 is how many dots? Well, if you know double eights is 16, then one less dot, the missing dot, would be 15. Is there another way to see it? Well, sure there is. There's as many ways to see the dot arrangements and figure out how many are there as there are good thinkers out there. What's another way you could see it? My mind likes small pieces, so I like to chunk things up really little. When I look at this picture, I see 4, and 4 more is 8, and 4 more is 12. And I know that 12 and 3 more is 15. Did you think like me? Did you think differently? How did you see it? Oh, I hadn't thought of it like that. That might be hard for other people to see. Let me see if I can show on the dots what I heard you think. I think I heard you say 6 and double 6 is 12. And then you just had to add the 3 you hadn't figured. 12, 13, 14, 15. We're all getting 15, even though we're all using different thinking strategies. How cool is that? Okay, now, these dot patterns have been pretty small and maybe a little bit easy. So let's see if we can make it harder for ourselves and see if our thinking strategies still work. My next dot pattern has more dots. You ready? Here's your 3-second look. Did you know how many there were? Write it down and tell your thinking partner how you saw the dot arrangement. Did you use a strategy we used on the last set of cards? I can see the double 5s too. Thank you for pointing them out to me. I see 5 and 5, and I know that double 5 makes 10. Then I only have to think about these 2 extra dots to know that there are 12 dots on the card. Did you see it different? Oh, I can see the 4 you see. Is this the 4 you mean? Yeah. Oh, I see a 3 too. There's a 3. It almost looks like a triangle. 4 and 3 is 7. I'm not very good with 7 and 5. I don't know that combination super yet, so I'm going to have to break that down a little further. But I can, because if this is 7, I know that 7 and 3 is 10, so I'll just grab these 3 and have a 10 in my head and add those 2 left over on. And once again, even using your strategy, we still have 12 dots. 12. Want to try another one? So far, we have 2 thinking strategies. We've talked about doubles in the last set of dots, and now we're thinking about how powerful a 10 can be. Let's see if 10 helps us on this card too. But you know, before I show it to you, I want to say, just because the dot card might make you think about a 10, 10 isn't the only strategy you can use. As a matter of fact, the best strategy for you to use is the one that works for you. as long as it's accurate and relatively quick, in about 3 seconds. Ready? Here comes your 3-second look. How many dots did you see? Write it down and tell your thinking partner, or tell me if I'm your partner, how many dots you saw. This time, try and tell them how you knew that many dots were on the card. So how'd you see it? Oh, I see your double strategy from before. I see 6 and 6. Are those the 6s you were doubling? 6 and 6 are 12, and 2 more are 14. Is there another way to see it? Did someone else see it different? Oh, you could. I see you could take these dots and in your mind's eye, move them over here and make a 10. Then we would have 10 in our mind's eye over here, and we would only be left with 4 on this side. That's an easy combination. 10 and 4 are 14. What a great strategy. Are there any other ways? Oh, that's right. If you think like me and you make little bitty chunks, you could see all those 4s in there again. But sometimes little bitty chunks aren't as helpful. As a matter of fact, 4s only work good for me when the numbers are even. It's easy to see 4s. But 10 is helpful almost all the time. I like your 10 strategy. I think I'm going to try it. I like your 10 strategy so much, I made one that had another structure to help us all see the 10 in the dot arrangement. So this one's a little different. I mixed it up on us. Here's your 3-second look. Ready? Could you tell? It felt like a lot more dots. Write it down and tell your thinking partner how many dots and how you knew. What do you know about these black frames on the card? Have you worked with frames like that before in your school with your teacher? Yeah. Sometimes those 5 boxes are side by side and called a 10 frame. But if you cut your 10 frame apart and stack them on top, you have a 10 strip like these. 10 strips can be very helpful when thinking about how many are there. How did you know? Oh, that makes sense. I think you said in your mind's eye, you could grab these 2 dots that make it more than 5 in this row. You could grab these 2 dots and you could drag them up here and make a whole 10. Oh, that made it so easy. Then it's just 10 and 5 more, which is 15. What's that, you say? Someone else did it different? How did you do it? Oh, you went the other way. You moved these 3 dots up here to make a 10, and you saw 10 and 5 more, which was also 15. You guys are so quick, definitely fluent. Since you're so fluent, I think we should think about how to write our thinking down. So I'm going to make my dot card a little easier again so we can think about how to write our thinking down in a mathematical way that other people can understand. So first I'm going to show you the dot card and give you your 3-second look. After I've shown you the dot card, then we'll think about how to write it down with mathematical notation. Ready? Oh, wait. I think I'm going to turn this around this way. Ready? Okay. This time, I want you to try and write down how you knew how many dots were there. You've been writing down how many dots you saw for a while. This time, see if you can write down using numbers and symbols to show your thinking. Here's an example. If you're like my best friend who uses doubles all the time, then you might see 6 and 6. We write 6 and 6 like this. 6 and 6. Is that all the dots? Oh no, there's that one more. 6 and 6 and 1 are 13. Is that the only way to see it? No. What are some other ways? Oh, you could use the make a 10 strategy. In your mind's eye, you could move these 4 over here and know that 6 and 4 are 10. And then you only have these 3 left to think about. So 10 and 3 more are 13. There's another way. Do you see any more ways? That way might be hard to see, but I believe you're right. You could take these 3, or even these 3, and slide them over here. Yes, there are tons of ways to see it. Let's try a harder dot pattern. Ready for your 3-second look? That's a lot of dots. And only a little bit of time. Fluency is fast and accurate. Let's see what you know in your 3-second look. How many dots do you see? And how did you know? Oh, I hear someone sees this group of 10 dots. 10. And how many more? Did you really know that was 9? You did? Amazing. But what if you didn't know that group of dots was 9? Oh, I see. I hear someone sees 10 dots. Boy, that 10 dots is easy to see, isn't it? 10 dots and 6 more. Can you see there 6 in this group of dots? Yeah, it's sort of lying on its side. Oh, wait, that wasn't yours? Oh, you saw this group of 6. Very cool. So 6, is that all the dots in the arrangement? No, we have 3 more. 10 and 6 and 3 are 19. Nice. You know what else is amazing about these thinking strategies? You can use these thinking strategies even when you don't have dots to look at. We could add up all the numbers on the dot cards we've looked at so far. We could use the same thinking strategies to add 13 and 19 and 17. Because we already know a lot about these numbers. We can use what we know to figure out what we don't know. If we know that 13 is the same as 10 and 3. If we know 19 is the same as 10 and 9. If we know that 17 is the same as 10 and 7, then we can make combinations of 10 or see doubles to help us add all of these numbers in our head. Do you see a combination of 10 in this list? Oh, we could use 7 and 3 to make a 10 if we know that 3 and 7 are 10. Then we only need to know that 10, 20, 30, 40, 9. That must mean this string of numbers is the same as 49. Amazing the thinking you can do in your head. Fluency is important. It'll help you with tons of math all across your whole entire life. So while you're at home and not with your school friends, think about fluency. Think about your strategies and see how quick you can get. As a matter of fact, I bet if you use strategies like we talked about today, you could make your own dot cards to share with your mom and dad or someone else at home, and you could probably even make up a list of super hard numbers to add. You could challenge them to a race, and I bet you'd beat them because you have great thinking strategies. So, until I see you again on Thursday, look around your house. See what things you can see in arrangements. It doesn't have to be dots. You could look at that pile of shoes by the door. How many are there without counting? How many toothbrushes are on the counter in the bathroom? Oh, how many eggs are in the... Oh no, that one would be way too easy. Okay, so you think about it and practice fluency, and maybe next time you'll have a new strategy I've never heard of that you can share with me. See you next time.